left off where I ended up with 8 and 22/8 equals 9 and 1/3. So I'm not sure where my error is. So I'm going to go back and I'm actually going to just redo that problem. So I have V added to 5/8 equals 9 and 1/3. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to subtract 5/8 and then I'm going to subtract 5/8 from both sides. And now I'm left with V is going to equal something. So in order to get this, I'm going to go through all my steps just to make sure that I didn't trying to figure out what my math goof is. So here I need to multiply by 8. Here I need to multiply by 3. And then multiply by 8. So here's my first step I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and regroup. So this becomes an 8. This becomes a 4. 4 times 8 is going to be 32. 3 times 8 is going to be 24. 5 times 3 is going to be 15. 8 times 3 is going to be 24. Okay, so 32. So far, everything looks good so far. So 32 subtract 15, I get 17. So I have 8 and 17/24. So now I see what my error was. When I went and did my check, I wrote 22 instead of 24. So we'll see if this is going to work. And so just for my, but look right here. I'm noticing something else too. So I have 8 and 17/24, and I have 9 and 1/3. Well, that's not working. That may not work either. So let's go ahead and do the check and see if that works, because I was thinking I was adding, but I'm actually subtracting. So never mind. Okay, so I go back to my original check. So I have 8 and 17/24 added to 5/8, and I want that to equal 9 and 1/3. Okay, so I do need to go ahead and change 5/8 into an equivalent fraction, a denominator of 24. So that's going to become 8 and 17/24 added to, this, again, if I multiply this by 3 and this by 3, I get 24. So it's going to be 15/24. And then I'm going to add 17 and 15 is going to be 32. 24ths, and then I have 8. So now I'm ready to do my regrouping to see if this is going to be equal to 9 and 1/3. So what I want to know is that equal to 9 and 1/3. So 24 goes into 32 one time. So there's my 1 to represent that. And actually I'm going to move my 1 over so I have room to write my other fractions. I'm going to do this in blue. So I have 1, and then if I do 32 subtract 24, I end up with 8. So now I have 8/24. And then if I add that to 8, I have 9 and 8/24. And I need to simplify, so I can divide both sides. I can divide 8 and 24 by 8, and I get 9 and 1/3. So my equation is balanced. Whew. So sometimes that's why that check is important. Even though I made the error in my check where I wrote my denominator of 22, it's important to go back and do the work. So yes, did I enjoy the process of going back and doing my work? Not necessarily, but was it helpful for me to realize where I made my error? It absolutely was helpful for me to see where I made my error. So that is where we're going to stop today. We are going to work on this learning target for 2 days, the solving for a variable and one-step fraction equations by using the inverse operations. We're not going to do reciprocals today because I just want to focus on adding and subtracting fractions. So your work for today in your independent practice is you are going to do 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 15, and that is as much as I want you to do today. And then tomorrow we'll finish out this practice. So those are the problems that I want you to do today. Do not turn this in. Don't turn in. Do not turn turn in. Okay. We'll turn it in tomorrow when we get finished with our entire 2-5. All right. Thank you so much for watching. And I hope this was clarifying on how to add and subtract fractions to solve for a